Hello again, everyone. I've dug out another one of my Françoise Reed stamp sets. This one's called 3 French Hens, but there's only one hen. So I thought today we'd have a go at making one hen into 3 hens. So I have got my stamp, I've got out the bread, I've got the beret, and I've got the heart. I'll see about a sentiment later. So what I'm trying to do today is to do a few different techniques for, playing around with images. So I want to do some masking. I want to do the kiss technique. And we'll kind of see what else happens, really. So let's get going. I'm going to do a panel, but I've not cut it out yet. So what I want to do is to start on here and then find the best position for whatever I've stamped to cut my front panel from. I've got a square card here, my usual square card, which is nearly 15 centimetres by 15 centimetres. Okay, I do have a pack of Inkadinkado masking paper that I'll be using in this, well, it's a tutorial, I suppose, really. But if you don't have masking paper, you can use post-it notes, and that you actually can get post-it notes, and this is one in point that's got a much larger sticky area. This one's just got that bit that's not sticky. This one is the regular post-it note where it's just the bit at the top that's sticky. So if you're using one of these and you're stamping a mask, just try and make sure that some of it is on the sticky bit. With these ones, it's much easier because there's far more of it that's got the sticky bit on it. But for today, I'm using the masking paper, and I stamped this chicken and I cut it out. When you are cutting a mask, you need to make sure that there's no white showing around the outside of the line. If you use a mask over another piece of stamping and it's slightly larger, when you come to stamp over that, you'll be left with a white line on your image that you've stamped. I may be talking a load of rubbish if you've never done masking before, so let me just get on and do. Okay, first one I want to do actually is nothing to do with masking. I want to try the kissing technique because I want 2 chickens facing one way and 1 chicken facing the other way. So the actual stamp has them facing to the right, but I want to try and make a chicken facing to the left. So what I'm going to use is a piece of stamping foam. Now, somewhere or other, I have got some smaller pieces of foam than this, but for the life of me, I can't think what I've done with it. I've obviously had a tidying up session, put them somewhere very sensible, and I can't find it. So let's start off with the one that's going to be facing left. So I'm going to use this. Now, this is not the best ink for using for colouring, but because I'm going to use a kissing technique, I need a really good, juicy ink. I've tried my hybrid, I've tried my Memento, and my Memento pad is in a bit of a state. I over inked it, really, and I get a bit of a mess. So I'm going to use this, and I've decided that the colouring I'm going to do is going to be either deep colours or shades of grey. So hopefully no smearing will occur. So let me just stamp up this. I love these images. I love this particular kind of image is perfect for masking because it's got a really thick line. So I'm going to stamp it onto my stamping foam, and then I'm going to put this onto my piece of card and give it a good press. So what I'm going to do is put a piece of a stamp block over the top so I can press down hard, and I'm standing up to do this actually. Oh, and there it is. Now that is not as dark as I'm going to get with the other side. So what I'm going to do, and the easy thing to do with this is to just go over the line with a fine line marker. So here I am, just going over this line, and it's easy to do because these stamps have got a really bold, thick line. So you just go over the top like this. I'll just do the rest. I'm not going to bother with the tiny little dots. Okay, so that's that one. Next one I want to do is one facing to the right. So I'm going to ink up my stamp again, and I'm going to stamp just regularly, just going to the right. Have them fairly close. There we go. And now I want to have another chicken just behind this one. But I would like to have this other chicken wearing the beret. So first of all, I'm going to put my mask on this one so that it's ready for when I do my next stamping. So I'm taking off the backing from this. I've cut off the legs because I don't need the legs. That's going to be absolutely fine. So carefully place your mask over the one you've already stamped. Okay, now I'm going to prepare this one for putting the beret on. So what happens is I don't want the comb on the top, and I don't want this bit of the top of the head because the beret has got to sit on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean the stamp up good and well to start with, and then I'm going to mask the stamp before I stamp it again so that I can put the beret on. There, that's nice and clean. I will just dry it off because I want the tape to really sort of, stick to it. So I'll just dry it off. Okay. Now with I use my magic tape for this. Take a piece of magic tape and we're going to cover up part of that top line, just here, part of that line plus the comb on the top. So let me just put this on the other side to cover the rest of the comb and part of the head. Okay, now none of that will stamp when I come to do the stamping because the sellotape, or the tape, is stopping it from getting any ink on in the first place. So carefully dispose of that piece of tape. Now I'm going to stamp a little bit behind, I think, and like that. Okay. I don't know if this is going to actually fit on my card front. Okay. It's got no top of the head. Now I can stamp my beret. So hoping my head didn't get in the way. There we go. So that one's got a beret on. Now, what I want with this one is I want that one to have the bread loaf under its wing. So what I'm going to be doing actually is stamping the bread loaf separately, cutting it out, shaping it slightly, and I'm going to, with the craft knife, cut this wing so I can just lift it and pop the baguette or baton, I don't know which it is, under the chicken's wing. Okay, so let's just do a bit of colouring now. Is that going to fit on my card? I don't know that it is actually. No, it's not. I think I might have to do a 5x7. I think that's going to be the answer. I haven't got one handy, but it will. I'm sure that will be fine for a 5x7. Okay, let me do a little bit of colouring. I'm going to have white chickens. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to have one of the chickens holding a heart. So let me just put this back on again. Put it on this one. And we'll stamp the little heart. And we'll just put this little heart in its beak. There we go. Let's take this off again. There we go. And it's got a little heart in its beak. So it's in the beak, not in front of the beak, if you can see what I mean. Okay, let's just do a little bit of colouring. So this is with CG030. Nautical grey, it says. Nautical grey. So I'm just going to put some little bits of shading around the edge. Places where there will be shadows. And this one. I always make the edges and lines kind of go up into, you know, odd shapes rather than just doing a smooth straight line. Otherwise you finish up with even with the shading, you'll finish up with you know, a line rather than sort of a better blended thing. Okay. And this one. I like white chickens anyway. I have got a lighter grey as well to use with this, so let's see how we go. Right, let's do the combs. I've got, well, I'm going to do actually a bit of paler grey just around the edge of this. This is my lightest. It is C, G, and then like 2 lines, and then 0, 0. So I don't quite know what that means. Don't understand the hierarchy of Ohuhu pens. And I'm going to be using some blender on this just to smooth out the edges, but it doesn't need to be, you know, too detailed. Right, my 2 reds, R8 and R2. Let's do the R8 little bit first. Oops-a-daisy. This is for the two combs like this. And the lighter colour. This is a bright red. I tried some of these pens on a different piece of cardstock. It was very, very flat, not shiny at all, and they just didn't blend at all. I can remember years ago I bought this cardstock, and I remember I just found this odd bit of it, and I just couldn't blend at all with my Copics I had at the time. And so which of the, I just need to see which of these two are which. I think this is the darker one. I just used it for doing ink, you know, blending with a brush or a dauber or whatever. Right, we'll give it a little beret. Let's see if I've got this the right way around. Yes, I did. That's a bit of luck. I tried to use a sort of a French navy, if you know what I mean. So there's the hat. Now let's do, I'm going to use the same colour for the beaks as for the bread, and I haven't actually stamped the bread yet. I have to do that bit. These ones are Y180 and Y140. Right. Oh, I haven't done the heart either, have I? I absolutely need to do the heart. Let's do that. stamp the bread, I'll just have to do this onto a bit of scrap. Oh. And these are the colours that I just used for the beak as well. So I use the same again for the bread. Right, I'll cut this out. We're going to have to cut this absolutely on the line as well. Again, this is why this kind of stamp is so good for masking and for cutting right up to the line, because it's got such a strong, thick line. So it's great. But I can see, even here, can you see there's a tiny little bit of white there? So I'm just going to get black marker and just go around the edge. Like this. And there'll be no trace of white. There we are. So there's my bread. I think actually I'm going to make that shiny. So I'd like to use some crystal glaze, and I'm going to have to leave it to dry, so it'll take a while. Here's my crystal glaze. Just pop it onto a bit of this, and I can move it. Oh, crikey, that came out quickly. I think it's done. that first blob was enough for the whole thing. Okay, that will have to just sit and dry for a bit. Right, now I look at this and I can see I haven't got any markings on the wings, so any shading on the wings. So I'll have to do something about that. I'm just going to put this bread somewhere so that the crystal glaze, it looks really kind of cool. The crystal glaze can dry. Right, let's get back to this. Now, I was going to put some markings on the wings, wasn't I? Okay. Just like this. There we go. Now, they need to be somewhere or other. So I have got a few art impression watercolour stamps. This tiny little thing is there. It's just a little bunch of, it looks like tiny bits of stones and pebbles. Here's a little tiddler, so we'll have that. Stick it on. And I've got my grass. I'm going to do a bit of grass as well. So I'm just going to stamp a little bit around here. And I'm just wondering what colour to do, really. This is all greys. I'm tending to want to do pumice stone, but I just don't know whether that's going to be too. It always looks more sort of it always looks more beige to me. Let's just have a look. No, I think I'm going to have to use hickory smoke, so let's get hickory smoke. Let's try this one. Just looking at the colour of the chickens. Yeah, that's better. Let's do this one. Right, let's have a bit of grass, as well as, let's have rustic wilderness, as one of my favourites. Put those over there, need a bit of a clean up. Here's my grass. Just love this stamp. So, the sentiments with this set say 3 French hens or Happy Christmas. So I think we're going to have 3 French hens. So I'll stamp that onto this piece of card and we'll add it somehow. Let's have a look. There's my 3 French hens. Let's pop it onto a block. And we'll stamp it. Oh, it's got the little tiddly bits. You know, like the little tiddly bits on here. I'd forgotten that. Well, perhaps I haven't used this one before. Perhaps I've always used for the Merry Christmas. Right, that's lovely. So we need to cut that out. And I'm going to have to stop and cut a 5x7 card. Cut my panel. Let's have a look and see how it fits. I've got to find the panel die here for a 5x7. Looks perfect, isn't it? That'll do nicely. So the 3 French hens can go kind of there, or we'll find somewhere. I'll cut this out now, actually. Just put a bit of tape on. Couldn't have them too close with the one face, with the kiss one. So let's see. While it's on this board, I think I will cut out my wing so that I can get the baton underneath it. Let's just see. Okay, put that away. So with a craft knife, just cut. That one will need just a little bit of black on as well. Just on this corner. I'm afraid my knife wasn't as sharp as it might have been, I think. Really. There we go. Let's just go around the edge. There we are. Okay. And once that's on the card base, we can just you won't see a funny colour underneath. You just see the card base. Okay, I think it may need to have, just wondering about a little something in the sky, but it's quite all right. Let's cut this out. I think that needs, it goes better there, doesn't it, I think, or there. Maybe at the bottom here. There we go. I'll cut a base, pop it on. That's going to go on a piece of foam tape. I'm just wondering whether to do another layer around the outside. And obviously I'm still waiting. I will be waiting for a while for this, just to tuck under that wing right there. So bit of fun. Hope you had an interesting time looking at it. So you've got masking there, masking a stamp so that you can change something about it, and this one masking a whole thing so you can print or stamp something behind it. So there we. Oh, I haven't done the blending either. I was going to do that, wasn't I? Oh, goodness me. Just the edges, just to smooth it off. There we go. 3 French hens. I shouldn't know whether to give the heads a different colour actually, but if a white chicken's a white chicken, it's a white chicken, isn't it? Okay. Okay. I'll put the finished card on the end of the video and on my Facebook page, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching.